Another mass shooting took place in the United States. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. 20 persons were shot, 10 of them died, and 10 others injured in Los Angeles, U.S. after a man opened fire on a crowd of people at a dance celebrating the Chinese New Year. Some 13 hours later in the evening, a vehicle was spotted with the suspect and was surrounded by the police. When they approached the vehicle, his body was found inside of an apparent self-inflicted wound. The investigation continues. Meanwhile, over in Jamaica, 6 guns were taken off the street over the weekend. The Jamaican police, you can see, are doing a very good job taking away the firepower from the gangsters. Every day we get stories that the police either hold someone with a gun or they find a gun by searching a premises. Over the weekend, they took 6 guns off the street. 4 were found in St. James, 1 in Westmoreland, and the other in Kingston. Now, if they can get 1 or 2 guns a day, 365 days a year, that will significantly reduce the amount of weapons on the street. Meanwhile, a very popular DJ in St. James has been charged with rape. From reports, it is said that popular DJ, 46-year-old DJ Kentucky, has been charged with raping a 13-year-old girl. His correct name is Sean Stewart, and it is said the girl asked him for money. He told her to come to his house to pick it up. When she went, it is said he asked her for a little piece and she refused. It is reported that he then held the 13-year-old down, raped her, then gave her some money. It is said that he drove her to Montego Bay and dropped her off. She then reported it to an adult who took her to the Montego Bay police. The DJ then was told that he was wanted by the police, and on Thursday, in the company of his attorney, he turned himself into the police where he was charged. Now, Kentucky, if you're guilty, shame on you. You are 46, she's 13. No matter what kind of booster you take or what kind of bum you drink, there's no excuse. One must learn to leave the little picnic them alone. Jovan Stevenson, the graphic designer who is seen in a popular video kicking his girlfriend in Halfway Tree Square, St. Andrew on Wednesday last week, entered a guilty plea in the St. Andrew Parish Court on Friday afternoon. After being apprehended by the police on Friday morning near Charles Street, Stevenson, who is 32, was brought before the court. Stevenson, who originally refused to respond to the judge's question of guilty or innocent plea, eventually admitted guilt, and he was remanded until sentencing on March 30. Additionally, the judge ordered that he pay Miss Danielle Price over $250,000 for the harm that she suffered as a result of the attack. And in the trending video, it was a horrible sight to see this man stomping and kicking Miss Price all over her body. It sick your stomach. And it would be nice to know if she have a brother or family member who have a hot head, because them have enough man who love a beat up woman, but when a next man step to them cower like a dog. Dwight Henry, the St. Mary man who pleaded guilty earlier this month to killing 2 United States missionaries in the parish 6 years ago, has been sentenced to life imprisonment for the crimes. Henry, a 32-year-old farmer of Wentworth in St. Mary, is to serve 28 years in prison before he is eligible for parole consideration in relation to the 2016 slaying of 48-year-old Randy Hensel and 53-year-old Harold Nichols. The convict was on Friday sentenced by High Court Judge Justice Leighton Pusey in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston. His co-accused, Andre Thomas, is to return to court for a trial date. Both missionaries were murdered in 2016 and their bodies were found in bushes. Autopsy later concluded that Hensel died of a gunshot wound while Nichols had gunshot and chop wounds. And with these kind of sentence in a few years, they will be back on the street to do it all over again to others. And that is Jamaica's way to continue to lead the world in murder. Life in prison is not a deterrent to any shutter. Another murder took place Thursday in Westmoreland, and from what we hear, it is because of scamming. The victim is a man called Marville Jr. Ellison, 51 years old, otherwise called Junior Flack, of Jane Marks in Georges Plain. And he's said to be a very hard-working man and have nothing to do with scamming. It is said that his son is involved in scamming and was just released from jail on Tuesday for gun possession. Junior Flack was said to have been shot 15 times, and this is a case where the gunman cannot locate the son, killed the father. Can't catch Quaco, catch him shot. More information about the killing of a murder suspect at a nightclub in St. Mary on Wednesday has been released by the police. Miguel Nash, a 41-year-old construction worker from Boscobel, St. Mary, is the deceased. And according to police, Nash is said to have drove up to a nightclub in Oracabessa on Wednesday night just after 11. He was getting out of the car when a silver Toyota Probox pulled up and stopped, and it is said that a masked man alighted and fired several shots, hitting Nash then made good his escape in the waiting car. Nash was transported to Port Maria Hospital, where doctors declared him to be dead, and he was a suspect in Alex Martin's slaying in St. Mary Comma district last year. Nash had been detained and formally interrogated, but due to inadequate evidence, he was released. Jamaica is a country where if you can't get justice in the courts, you get justice in the jungle. Meanwhile, as police process one scene in Rulespen in Maypen on Saturday night, gunshots from an adjoining community of Palmer's Cross alerted them to a second fatal shooting. Farmer Joel Bartlett, 31, was slain in the Rulespen incident while making soup outside a shop. The police report states that a man who was carrying a long pistol entered the shop and requested service. He didn't receive any service, so he left the shop, but he came back this time accompanied by another man brandishing a handgun who kicked open a metal gate on the building side and yelled police. When Bartlett tried to enter the shop, the man brandishing the gun shot him. The other man with the long gun then shot him again. He died on the spot. And in the second shooting, which happened at about 11 p.m., Fitzroy Two-Pound Blake was on his way home from a neighborhood bar. Residents said they heard several loud explosions and called the police. The 35-year-old Blair of Ramsey Drive in Palmer's Cross was discovered face down in a pool of blood. A man said to be an ex-policeman was shot and killed by gunmen in St. Thomas on Saturday. The deceased has been identified as Andrew Thomas, a resident of Seafort in the parish. Reports are that Thomas was leaving his house at about 8:30 p.m. when on reaching his gate he was attacked by gunmen and shot several times. The men then fled from the area. The injured ex-policeman was rushed to hospital where he was later pronounced dead. The mayhem continues. On to sports. National Premier League games played yesterday evening saw Harborview coming out 1-0 winner over Montego Bay United. Tivoli Gardens edged Mullines United 2-1. Humber Lions eke out a 1-0 win over Portmore, while Waterhouse had a similar victory over Cavaliers. Cavaliers lead all teams with 22 points, followed by Mount Pleasant on 21. Humber Lion comes roaring in third place on 20 points, followed by Harborview on 19. Arnett is in fifth place on 17 points, while Waterhouse is very close on 16 in sixth spot. And have you noticed that all the teams are just one win away to jump and overtake the team in front of them? And please remember that if you ever miss the news on this radio station, just go to YouTube and type in Jamaican Undiluted News. You listen, you like, and subscribe. Also, hit the notification bell. Then as soon as we upload, you'll be the first to get it. Anyway, that's going to be news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.